how do we allow this? And how do we allow this? Alright, this is the same medication. This seems a little bit bigger. 10 milligrams? I don't know, this is weird. Also, when I took this pill consecutively, I sleep for 10 hours. And I feel like shit. Alright? Is that the positive effect that we have been looking for this whole time? And this, well, we're not supposed to allow monopolies to take control of everything and continue their manipulation. You can manipulate people if you're trying to establish your business, but then you have to clean all that shit up and operate in behalf of everyone else. Alright, you have to make things easier, not more complicated and filled with manipulations. That is the job of the government. Instead of $5.99 to turn it into goddamn $6. Alright, and get rid of this fucking part. It's the government's job to remove lottery too. Remove all the unnecessary things of things that are already established. I baked you guys a cake too. Of all the different ways that personalities try to manipulate. However, I actually don't really know the actual thing, but we can look into a completely different area. What if we add this? Zombie, creeper, then werewolf. Maybe werewolf is something else. This is interesting as well. And then vampire. It's just werewolf shows up a lot of times, but I don't feel very confident. Like, Minecraft doesn't have werewolves. They have wolves, but wolves are kind of irrelevant too. So maybe there's something else for for the type of a monster, and I want to separate these. So I broke down that zombies subliminally want you to think that if someone is bitten by a zombie, it's gonna turn into a zombie. It's not the case, okay? It's just, we're all conditioned into believing that stuff. Vampires, for example, want to remain anonymous, right? They don't want to see their reflection in the mirror. They don't want to see nothing, bro. They reject and ignore everything. They don't think nothing matters, basically. And they also want a lot of control, a lot of just establish whatever authority of everything. But then, like, nothing matters at the same time, so they're just terrible leaders, I would say. They only master the form of intimidation, and a way to suck people's energy, so where everyone else doesn't have energy, no one can actually resist the monopoly. They just have to slave around day by day just to get by, just to get it, and they get all the things, basically, as authority figures. So, vampires, boy. All these monster types, you know, they're slowly taking a hold of our world because we don't see nothing wrong going on, right? Andrew Tate, Mr. G, the werewolf type, with a lot of self-deception, thinking that everyone likes him. When he goes outside, he's completely safe. He walks with bodyguards. I mean, for fuck's sake. The Matrix is there to get him. He's just so torn apart that he has to self-deceive just to survive. Because, well, he has a lot of resources that will be taken away from him all of a sudden. I mean, he was filled with so much self-deception that he didn't really see a big threat coming. After triggering Greta Thunberg, you know, all of a sudden getting struck by lightning. I mean, while he was on the mountain. Thunberg. Now it worked out. I think it was the actual purpose of Greta Thunberg this whole time. Is just to strike a person who's on top of everything, all out of nowhere, you know. Andrew Tate is pathetic and doesn't actually serve society. He only wants to make more scammers who escape the Matrix by stabbing as many people as possible and taking their money, basically. I mean, very nice. Maybe don't do that one. And then there's the brick dump that I have received from a person. Werewolves do that. You can expect werewolf and then, oh, this furry creature, look at that. Look at this furry creature. Oh, definitely not werewolf. But decided to instead... I triggered him by talking about his description. And then he's like, oh, let me fucking say all this stuff that I don't want to read this shit. I can read 2 sentences. That is a back and forth conversation that I request. I don't even know if I want to break it down this episode and react to it. You know, I don't want to waste my time speaking to a wall and stuff. It just immediately throws me off. Like, if I continue reading this, it just gonna destroy me. You know. Best of luck, whatever you're dealing with the ending. As if I'm dealing with something. I'm dealing with you, your sorry ass. Best of luck. Didn't work out very well. You know, it's so annoying. But this is a consistent strategy that I see these assholes do. If you trigger them, they just dump their feelings with manipulation sprinkled in. If you basically, all you're reading is you're loser, you're loser, you're loser, you're loser in different languages, in different ways said, you know. He just found different ways to say you're a loser. I mean, wow. So much effort for something that I don't want to consume. Oh, oops. And he didn't came back, you know, like, okay, you have to read it because this, and that. The moment you ask for people to be reasonable, all the bullshit just falls apart. So you simply have to not do things they want you to do. It's a little bit different than doing what you want. The reason why doing what you want is bullshit, and it throws me off a little bit. You know, it's very difficult to actually understand why this is true until you understand what principles are, and the fact that you're not really supposed to do what you want to do. You're supposed to achieve what you want, but you will not be doing what you want. You have to enjoy whatever you're doing while you're getting closer to your achievement, and you have to make sure that your achievements are actually close enough to get it within a day. You know, get your achievement and you finally get to relax. But even then, relaxation is not something you want to do, it's something you are allowed to do, and then you just drift into your allowances, basically. Yeah, unfortunately, doing what you want to do, and a lot of the time, I want to insult that person. I want to destroy their well-being and all this stuff. There's a lot of bad things you want to do, and a lot of the times, oh, I feel very good for this person, but I don't actually want to let him know that. You know, I'll just keep the good feelings for myself. It's like, well, he might find out at some point. So we sometimes are very silent on the good things and very vocal on the bad things, which is what we want to do very often, but it's not what we're supposed to do. You know, we're just kind of downgrading ourselves very often. Because we think like, oh, when we feel bad, we have to express that to make the other person feel bad. But it's not reasonable. It doesn't make sense. The zombie category also has social pressure in it. The numbers, you know. There's a lot of zombies. Might as well join them, am I right? Might as well turn into a zombie. We don't actually... we think that zombies also have to attack in order to turn you into a zombie. No, there's plenty of social pressure if you're just surrounded by zombies. You just like... even like happy zombies. But, yeah. I think... it's a weird one. Vampires have a little bit of subliminal stuff. But technically, the zombie thing is the most visible thing. Smile is what vampires have. They constantly smile. But zombies have probably the most attractive expression, something you can actually kind of relate to or understand very quickly. They have the eyes, man. The big eyes. Brains! You have brains. Give me brains. So, this is subliminal and social pressure at the same time, just by expanding your eyes into something. So you have all these things. They're all interactive with each other as you know, the elements. I use the same elements, all 4 elements, over and over again. By this point, you should have gotten it by now. How the cake is made. The ultimate cake of knowledge. What about creepers? Well, they love destruction. They're like, oh, you have this establishment, this little nice thing. What if I destroyed it? That's what anarchists want. They don't actually propose good solutions to things, because the only solution against monopoly is forcing competition, is forcing monopoly to recognize that they need competition to be clean, to have a reason to clean themselves up and continue improving the quality of business and all that stuff. But if we don't put pressure, if we just want anarchy and destruction, well, I'm sorry, bro. It's a manipulation, alright? And Mr. Mark Passio has invented this new personality type that I have to call anarchist. That, oh, government is slavery, but then what are you gonna replace it with? Because I get paid by the government too. I make videos, I try to educate people and I actually am sponsored by the government, and I actually do a better job than Mark Passio. Because I cover so many more topics so much faster. It's ridiculous. And this guy just sits there and fucking bitch about all these little things that don't really affect him directly. So he's not actually improving his own life quality, and he's struggling to even, find a place to live and maintain his equipment or whatever. I don't know. He seems like he's struggling. He asking for the audience to contribute so he could buy a server or something. It's so weird. It's some weird shit. It's just do a good job, get paid, live your life. And also, the funniest thing about Mark Passio that I have to point out, he does not allow conversations in his in the YouTube. There's no comment section for him, so it's all blocked. And it's funny because an anarchist is not supposed to do that. An anarchist is supposed to allow anarchy to take place, where everyone has a chance to, type in a comment and participate in some kind of discussion. It's easy for him to just come down and harvest all these things or start conversations with certain type of people who maybe don't like him, who like him too much. There's so much you can find just in the comment section alone that he just destroyed. Well, thank you, I guess. What are you replacing it with? He had Discord for a little while. He destroyed it too. It's just unbelievable, Looking at the greatest creeper of all time, just like I highlighted Andrew Tate. I don't have good examples here, but we have the idea of zombie apocalypse and social pressure is a big idea. Sexualization is a big idea. It's mixed in together with this, rainbow Nazi community. The A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and so on. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, double X, triple X. Sexualization, guys. I mean, and everyone is included. Everyone can fuck each other whenever they want, except, you can't be or fuck an animal, unfortunately. That's illegal. Or you cannot fuck a minor, or you can't even interact with a minor. That is grooming, actually. So there's all these borders where it's like, well, a 17-year-old can create groomers, but an 18-year-old can get into a gangbang. I mean, Gangbang? It was so long since I typed in that word that, well, I have to double check now. But basically got fucked by 4 black dudes. You're 18, you can do that now. 17, they're all groomers. Just by talking to you, so, you know, like, yeah, this legal insanity, basically, is going on. But everything is sexualized, too. Despite there being a growth of virgins successfully, so... When you look into a lot of bullshit videos, there's a lot of manipulation that I break down as well. But that is kind of the introduction. The most important thing to understand again, once you're reasonable, all manipulation breaks down. And now we can break down these points here. Now I'm gonna do it in another different way, or I have already done it. I already laid down the points because I tried to, you know, do my episode, but I thought it was going a little bit too slow. I could try again, you know. So I laid off the track for us to plow through. Last time I did it, it turned into an ugly mess. So I changed the way I do it. At first, I just speedrun as many points as possible and leave 3 points hanging that I would just expand. Again, if there's a bigger pause than 8 minutes, there's gonna be a gap. Even this is a gap, but back in the past, it really triggers me, this kind of gap. Even my avatar shows up for no reason. So, and this is just if you can't do it. See, like, the 9 minutes difference, 53 into 2. So anything above 8 minutes just creates this gap. It's very ugly. So I think I found the perfect solution now. As you can see, this is where I start the new comment and I expand the comment. Because if I type out anything right now, it creates a new gap. And that's not what I want. So now it should be very clean and I won't have to think about it ever again. Yeah, I also follow a simple principle. I want to survive. Deep down, I want to survive as a YouTuber. So there's technically a lot of things that I have to do that I don't want to do. But it's actually quite fun. The most fun thing is try to get to the achievement, and you realize all the things that you're kind of you have to allow yourself to do, because all the unusual things you're gonna be bumping into, but you have that one goal, and it's very satisfying to move towards that goal. I mean, that also kind of a big way to defeat manipulation, because no one can manipulate when you're trying to achieve something in life. When you're determined to achieve something, technically, I cannot say nothing can manipulate you, because you're bumping into things. You might lose resources along the way, so you have to also check that everything is intact. Nothing is setting on fire, because usually when you try to achieve a goal, well, first of all, it has to be a very, very easy thing to achieve. You can't just go and buy a plane ticket. The scariest thing about buying a plane ticket is not that you are gonna be flying in a plane. The actual scariest thing is that you're leaving a lot of things behind every time you travel somewhere. Even just jumping into a car. I think cars are a lot more scarier than planes, by the way. Yeah, make sure your goals are simple. Don't leave anything behind that you have to take care of. Don't leave your babies behind. Is the best way to actually improve your life. I think, well, Antwinum, a Minecrafter, was like, oh, I don't know where my channel is going, so I'll just gonna start traveling and just leave everything behind. I mean, all you have to do is try different things based on your objectives and goals. Usually, for a YouTuber, a simple objective is how do you, what kind of new type of content I could start making So I'm again excited to make videos I could improve. You don't need to travel across the entire country of what Antoinem did to improve himself a little bit, slightly. He hasn't really improved. He just changed the format entirely, and now uploads slower and slower, and now he's a trash YouTuber for real this time. He has been trash YouTuber because I didn't know what video to click on, but now he's trash YouTuber because he's making good content, but in such a slow pace that, well, you switched content successfully and you successfully turned it into the same old trash that it used to be. So, congratulations. Another thing I recently talked about is a person who was breaking down Christianity, which is dark matter. And it actually sparked a little bit of interest from my subscriber, from a little bit outside sources. And I'm not looking into how many views I'm getting anymore. It's not my concern. All I need are comments, so I could create a little bit of a discussion. But you know, I keep trying to create a discussion, but no one falls for it for some reason. This is not manipulation. I'm very, very desperate to talk to someone. These are my goals, and it's very important. Like, YouTubers have to, especially when they get canceled, they have to create sanity content so we understand what their goals and objectives really are, and maybe we could improve that and give them some advice on what to do next. Like, Captain Sparkle started doing this sanity stuff, and I really like that. It's just every single time it feels like, oh, I want money. I want this to keep this job or whatever. Yeah, YouTuber is such a crazy job to have because if you don't really fully cash out and establish your future, you might actually be struggling. But that is just another reason not to buy luxury items and big houses. Like, YouTuber, I feel like the greatest YouTuber of all time, and all I need is a good computer and a small room, and that's it. You know, small apartment, so I get to live in my mom's basement, and I'm happy, and I don't even need to make relationships when I can play with my dick a lot better than what girls would offer me. So, I don't know, bro. And I never really even tried a girl, whatever that thing is. I don't even know if they exist in real life. I just see pictures on the internet, that's all I see. But if I cannot talk them on the internet, which is a safe space, that means that thing does not exist in real world to begin with. So let's start breaking down these points. That was kind of the introduction. Yeah, all establishment has to be clean. It's really annoying to see ads in the videos when I'm just not gonna participate in your stupid ad little game, but they want to subliminally fix you on certain things. It's like, whenever I need something, I will look up, or even when I am bored, maybe I'll just look into some ads, something that would excite me. Ads supposed to have their own space, you know. If you want to support a YouTuber, there's going to be an ad space on how can you support the YouTuber. If you watched a lot of videos, YouTube will give you guys a button to click, and then you watch the video of, okay, you want to support me, here's the things that I would appreciate. You know, this is the perfect thing, alright? Before you subscribe, that button maybe pops out or something to a special video, where you lay down every single sponsorship deal and all the things available for dedicated fans. I mean, it would be so much more effective than constantly bombarding on every single video. There's a fucking ad in the middle. Here's this sponsorship, here's fucking VPN, here's a Lord's title, buy some gold. I don't give a fuck about none of these things. When you do it separately, you can also break it down for like 10 minutes. extra. It could be a very, very long video where you just break down every single sponsorship and why you care so much. You can put all the information instead of constantly copying and pasting that information into your videos. And similarly with just ads, not just sponsorships. Because ads and sponsorships is left and right, basically dynamic. Right is so cancelled all the time that they fear that, well, their videos are not going to get monetized, so the people are not going to see ads. They have to add their own ads to make their content absolute garbage, in a way. While the actual ads on every music video and all that shit that you like, short videos, it's also ridiculously annoying for YouTube to do these things. So how do you solve that one? Not exactly sure, but again, there should be an ad space, a place where you can try new things, and that's it. I mean, just like Google Store doesn't really require ads because they're promoting products to begin with. You're supposed to promote YouTubers. That is kind of the whole point. Like, I don't know how YouTube got away without establishing a special self-support button, basically. You pay a certain amount of money and the algorithm is gonna, boost your stuff a little bit, or boost your video, doesn't matter. There's a way to do it, but, it's a stupid way. It should be integrated. We just buy a little bit of attention, On YouTube, you should be able to buy attention instead of running ads, but it's a weird one. I'm trying to destroy ads, but then I went into this area. That makes no sense. Because you need ads to be able to earn something from YouTube, right? So, okay. Buy attention, buy subscribers. You should be able to do that. I don't know why YouTube is not doing it, but yeah. The ads is such a complicated thing. I don't even want to jump in there. The basic definition of manipulation is unfair trades. Basically, manipulation is kind of a scam, but not really, because manipulation is everywhere at all times. You're trying to have a conversation. I will invest a lot into a conversation. I will type in long comments and all that stuff, break things down. No one really appreciates that, so it becomes this unfair trade where I get ignored, rejected, attacked in various ways. All these things make the transaction unfair, so I literally don't know who to talk to that is a not manipulative asshole. But they don't even really hold a conversation, so it doesn't really turn into a manipulation. Just being rejected, I just don't feel that this is the greatest manipulation of all time. They simply don't understand the opportunity behind possible conversations, just interactions in general, especially on the internet. If you don't know how to use the internet, man, we're screwed. This is a new technology that could change our lives significantly if we just knew how to use it. A lot of people would stop feeling lonely all of a sudden. We have to train and use the internet. We have to replace schools with ways to learn about the internet because it's so much more important. Every little thing you do, bro. Every little thing you do, and socializing and all these things. Because, we might have people who know how to read and write all of a sudden, but using the internet is still something that people don't know. People are still illiterate on internet itself, and even going through 12 years of school is not going to teach you nothing about the most important piece of technology, because spending 12 years in school is an old method of learning now. It's so outdated, it destroys people's lives. So we have a lot of bullshit videos that we could refer to. Anarchist is bullshit, alright? as we broke down, it's a toxic personality that just wants destruction and has nothing to offer, no plan. And there's a lot of gamers out there too, just distracting themselves, going into this virtual reality world where they could be the best, but will you actually achieve a title out of being the best? Mr. Beast may have watched YouTube videos and got inspired to do YouTube, but he kept improving, and all of a sudden now he's a full-blown YouTuber who can actually earn money and actually would enjoy whatever title he achieved, being the best YouTuber currently. What title would you achieve if you're the best gamer? You know, and there's not a lot of titles like that being thrown around. You still would have to go and participate in real-life events if you want to be the best gamer, the best speedrunner maybe. Do they get paid, or do they just waste a lot of time? It is disturbing to watch this phenomenon, and it obviously creates a lot of inflation too, of all kinds of type of people who don't contribute back to society. They just contribute to monopolies that technically offer good things, but you know, we're becoming disconnected very quickly, and there's so many communities all of a sudden established that really have no connection between each other. You know, I'm trying to look into every single community, and no community says like, oh, where you come from, or what do you want from this community. No community is like self-aware that they have to treat every new person as pretty important if they're willing to talk. Like, I immediately start conversations. I had 3 conversations that were very satisfying from 3 different people that came in different times. You can look into a home chat, and I had conversation with this guy, and then a Christmas gift I said, then this guy, and this is in a span of 3 months. 3 conversations. Still went anywhere, but at least I'm getting something. Something that I could even brag about, because most people don't even know how to achieve that. That was a hard thing to achieve to begin with. It's kind of sad not to see these guys wanting to interact, but as long as they're around, I'm satisfied, you know. And again, having conversation is so difficult that, you know, repeating that process again requires a completely next level trigger all of a sudden. Because like, well, we did what we wanted. We can't just keep on doing the same thing. There has to be a reason to. You know, we have to recollect new resources and, again, new reasons. The third point is we have to look back again. Is this supposed to be the same medication, but it has so different effects? This one just knocks me out, dude. I still feel dizzy and not like myself whatsoever. Like, my body just shattered completely, dude. And this one, I don't even feel the effects. So, doctors have the ability to swap medication whenever the fuck they want. It's like, well, you're enforced to take the medication. It knocks me out, and it made me sleep 10 hours, and I still feel like shit. You know, I don't want to be stuck in a dream world for 10 hours. It gets pretty scary in there, okay? 10 hours, bro! I didn't sleep exclusively for a long time, for the entire day almost, beforehand. I couldn't catch the moment when I slept. It felt like I was sleeping in naps for like 4 hours, so it technically kind of balanced itself out, and I still didn't really catch the side effect. But all I got are just side effects. What is this thing, dude? And it was way worse when I was getting injections. That was just crippling. It's like, what are these people thinking? And I can't just make another medication is bullshit video because we already done 2 of them and we have to go to the next level, but we're actually getting there. It's that bad. It's the very first bullshit video that I made, and I mean, holy crap, like, the only thing I get is like side effects. What is the fucking point? What is the point, bro? Side effects, yeah. Like, if medication doesn't give me wings, make me fly, and attract girls, and attract more money, it's fucking useless. It's a waste of time for everyone. For everyone. Just because I'm talking about it right now, I'm fucking wasting time. What is happening? The fact that I have to think about it is wasting my time. Oh my fucking god. We probably will get to the level 3 very soon. The first thing to go to level 3 is how much big of a fucking waste this is. It's unbelievable. The only thing that it does is make you, well, think about authorities, and that's bad, because I don't actually like them either. You know, every single medication is attached to some kind of doctor that gave you that shit to begin with. So, it's another way to suck a dick, basically, apparently. You can allow some manipulation to bust the scam wide open. So yeah, I even have an example here. I scammed influencers so he couldn't scam you. We often allow some manipulation in our society, but if we just blind to it, we're never gonna be able to swing back and destroy what is not supposed to be happening in society. We just allow a lot of manipulation to go through, even in small forms and small chunks. But for me, I will not be blind, alright? I will not be blind to manipulation. I see clearly, alright? And I'm being manipulated out of being a full-fledged YouTuber with 10,000 fans, you know, contributing something. It doesn't have to be money, but I would love to survive too, you know? Right now I'm sponsored by government. Anarchist's biggest nightmare, you know? Because I'm also supposed to be an anarchist, I'm supposed to be a creeper, but oh, oops, I guess that's not how it works out in the end, huh? It's sponsored by crime and government. I did a crime and government rewarded me significantly, alright? I don't have to work. I don't have to work for like 10 years. My future is looking pretty good, as long as my mom lives, so I have to take care of my mom, because she's struggling with medication too, you know, so we need solutions for that one. But yeah, I don't know what to do. I took the medication, it just destroyed me. That different one. The different one came from like the stash of the doctor's special little cupboard that he had to give me some extra medication, because for some reason he was struggling to prescribe enough medication, so he had to give me extra. None of this makes any sense to me. It's just like, give the amount of medication that I need. Like, what is the problem here? And it keeps happening like that. But secret stash, my friend, secret sauce that will kill you. This medication would probably kill me in so many ways. All right, maybe not instant death, because that would be crazy, you know. But cut my arm off for a particular period of time, yeah. If it knocks me out and makes me sleep for 10 hours, I mean, consistently, all right. I don't like it. Don't likey. People very often are blindly manipulating others if they decide to do so. Right now, because the world is... the world just fell into ignorance and rejection, there has been a lot of manipulation, that means, to create ignorance and rejection. We don't trust people. I even saw a TikTok where a person offers an iPhone for $5, and the other one, the person just sitting on the bench is like, well, I kind of have $5, but it's probably a scam. Yeah, well, It's a weird one, but like, yeah, sure. But it could be a scam on so many levels where, like, yeah, if you get this phone and you put all the data into that phone, it could be a hacked phone, so it would steal all that data. It's possible that it's a manipulation, so you should be scared of everything almost. And a reason not to fly planes and travel across the world. You shouldn't trust not only the fact that you're going to a foreign place, but also the fact that you're leaving a lot of things behind. A lot of people that you should to continue communicating with, but you just travel somewhere instead. It's so pathetic. There's so much bullshit that we could also detect. New bullshit that I didn't even talk about yet. And people traveling is definitely one of the biggest nonsense things you get to observe in this life. It's so expensive. It is ridiculous. What is the point of traveling? What are you gonna see? What are you gonna experience? Trying to hold a conversation with a person is much more intriguing experience than traveling. So you have to start being reasonable and actually, try to achieve things that are actually achievable and very easy to do without many risks. And traveling is just not one of those things. So traveling cannot beat conversations. You can just sit down on a chess table, just play some chess, talk about experiences that each of us had, and that would be much better traveling than traveling itself. Alright? Unless you're a little rich, uncontrollable fucking child that doesn't know where to spend the money and time at the same time. It's like, oh my god, dude. Disgusting. It's really disgusting. So there's no real social pressure that cleans people up from wasting their resources. Is that one thing that we're supposed to do? Is all manipulation bad? Is there good manipulation? No. Manipulation is supposed to be a negative word of unfair trades. The moment the trade is fair, it's a different word that we do not have. But that's the whole point. You manipulate someone to do what you want while they are at the same time not realizing that they're doing you a favor of some kind. It's trickery. Well, trading is trading, man. Trading is love, alright? Love is something that is the opposite to... Well, it defines fair trades. Fair trade is love and compassion. I don't know. It's still hard to define it that way. But trading is like so important. Technically, trading is connection. And manipulation is the opposite of connection. Right? Because you're not connected against people who you're trying to manipulate. You're just not connected. You have different agendas than connection to that person. Trying to work together, you're working separately. Entirely. You're creating a victim of your manipulation. So you're definitely not connecting to that person. Sometimes you can manipulate in a short period, but then you have to apologize and explain what happened. Alright? And why you manipulated someone. Alright? If you are willing to turn the tables around, then yes. That's the reason for apology videos. Oh, I'm sorry, I manipulated because this and this and that. And if you cannot explain it, why you manipulated, oh, I manipulated because I wanted money and wanted all these things. That's cool if you can just turn it around into something, a noble reason of why you have been doing bad things. Because sometimes doing bad things, you still want to achieve a good result, just like, you put a prisoner into prison. Throwing a person into prison is bad, but throwing a bad person into prison, but it's just like, it's the same principle as always. You can apply bullshit to bullshit, and it will cancel itself out often enough. Yeah, fight bullshit with bullshit is available to all the time. I talk about it very, very often when I make bullshit videos. Or videos about bullshit things, rather. Well, I can say bullshit series. I don't even know. It's too complicated. I don't want it to sound that I'm making videos that are bullshit, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes you don't catch yourself making mistakes, and when people catch you, you just make a noble apology, and people understand. No problem. Humble apology, honest. I choose noble. You can't just allow free fall of manipulation. I mean, a lot of people, again, stay silent when bad things happen to them, but they're very vocal. When good things, they want to flex all the time and shut the fuck up about the bad things. They just want to disappear from society when bad things happen. It's actually probably the best way to describe what free fall manipulation is. You know, free fall manipulation is surrendering to the bad and flexing the good. Free fall, because usually when you flex the good stuff, that can be stolen and taken away from you if people don't like you, and if you just surrender to the bad and you're completely silent, no one can actually help you. You know, I'm struggling to tell you how bad my life is, but honestly, I'm probably living better than most people, so I don't care then. I just try to do the best job as I can. I just want to feel like I'm accepted as a YouTuber and I'm doing a good job simply because I want to actually educate people and not just entertain. Can we do that, please? Why do you need entertainment so much? Why is YouTube a cesspool of fucking children? You know? Well, it was a young platform, but we grew up. Now I have to find videos that just like what I'm doing, get to the next level of just meaning, not just allowing YouTube poop to exist anymore. All that shit can go to TikTok because that's where it belongs. Alright? All YouTube poop belongs to TikTok. Because it's often short. YouTube poop content is often so short it just belongs on TikTok. Alright, get the hell out of here. And no, I don't think YouTube is gonna come out with the Shorts program and start giving significant amount of money to people who do Shorts. Shorts is supposed to be the best of the best from TikTok. Alright, and that's the purpose that it's supposed to serve. Everything's supposed to serve a purpose and not just be its own thing. You know, if you're trying to defeat a monopoly, you're competing against a monopoly. Yeah, you can copy and paste everything that they did. Maybe you'll get away with that. But most importantly, serving a purpose of like of a competition. There's a lot of card games out there. I'm not sure we can jump into discussing what a monopoly is. Obviously, a card game monopoly is Hearthstone. Gaming monopoly also exists. It's Minecraft. So it's very important to understand what these things are and can you beat them. I technically, with this button clicker, I beaten Minecraft for myself. I will never play Minecraft. I don't need to. It's a shitty game. What am I playing then? I'm playing this button thing. So I have beaten gaming for myself. Alright. With just simple buttons. It's something that any programmer could do, but I got addicted to it. And this is a program I use every single day. I didn't even play Minecraft every single day, dude. This shit I use every single day. Non-stop. For the entire year, basically. Entire goddamn year. Only recently, you know, Only like 6 months ago I actually made this version. But back in the day it was a little bit archaic and very hard to understand. Now it's easy to understand, and I still didn't get any feedback on it. You know, it's kind of crazy. Nobody commented on this application that I just made. You know, maybe people think it's too simplistic. It doesn't have 3D graphics. That's the whole point, is to make it simple but enjoyable. So it's double as good, you know. If you're thrown into a 3D environment, you don't really know what the fuck is going on. Unless it's somewhat realistic, which is why Minecraft kind of gripped attention. It is somewhat a high-quality game simply because it has 3D graphics, but it's a very dumbed-down version where the graphics themselves try to look simple, and every single interactive object is very simple. And it just worked flawlessly. If Minecraft was with too realistic of graphics, I don't know if it had the same amount of success, because it's also important to just attract children and not adults to play Minecraft, because that would be cringe in the first place. That was also successful. Everything about it was very good, but you know, we only take a look in success stories. There's so games after games and game developers who trying to do their thing. I was also kind of a creeper almost back in the day. I was a game developer. I wanted people to do more gaming to distract themselves, and I wanted to destroy Minecraft because it was a competitor to gaming in general. I wanted to destroy it, not outcompete it necessarily. I would propagate the fact that Minecraft is dying, but Minecraft was in decline and dying until it got revived a little bit, but in a very crazy way where now it just has to die again, and it's much more violent death, I would say. I don't know if... Let's take a look if Minecraft is falling apart. It's kind of interesting. 5 last years, there's actually no significant changes. This little bump is where Minecraft got revived, technically. And since the bump is... we're still at 70% average. So nothing really changed. Yeah, but I beat in Minecraft for myself. I will never need it myself. There's so many things you can do just by clicking buttons. But technically, this button clicker relies on the fact that... relies on the YouTube as an engine. You know, because I watch and interact with people, or just internet as a whole as an engine. Because even if YouTube collapsed, there might be some places we could go to. Like TikTok is again one of those places that would immediately take over, because it's kind of waiting to do that with so many points, 24,000. So I can recognize the power of things, the influence. It's quite fascinating. Now, let's keep moving. If thinking is not for you, I don't know how you will ever make proper decisions. You know, you can outsource thinking to someone else, but I don't feel like people actually want to even interact with me and ask me questions. Nothing. They just get angry. They feel like, oh, I'm outcompeting them, I'm winning on this conversation game every single time, and I only want harm for them. It's just an absolute baby mode is activated every time I try to talk to someone. They turn into a rage-filled baby. Has no superpowers, has no ability to actually hold a conversation, just gets angry and rage quits. I didn't even intend to win the conversation. That's not the point. I just want to hold it. Maybe you have some questions. Maybe there's something I can do for you. I'm YouTube CEO, remember? So technically, any YouTube CEO works in public space because it's useless, apparently. They have nothing to ask the YouTube CEO for. So YouTube CEO is like, oh, I guess I'm not needed on YouTube. I'm just gonna tweet a bunch of things about how many subscribers people have. It's the funniest thing that I bring up over and over again. So Mr. Beast even again is one of those people who mastered YouTube. You know, when you have to not distract yourself, but actually do things that are gonna grow your skills. And you have to be able to apply those skills in the real life. And every gamer needs to touch grass. That's a very useful skill. How do you do it? Scratch your head. You know. I made my grass. I memed it a bunch of times already. But let's touch it again. Oh, missed that one. Missed that one too. I think we can touch it this time. Still missed the grass. And I'm still missing the grass for some reason. Please. Still, it's very difficult sometimes, guys. And I still missed it. It's supposed to be 50-50, dude. Fuck grass. Grass not for me anymore. I don't know how to touch it. Anyways. So Mr. Beast advises to have a lot of friends because friends are gonna fail in different ways and they can contribute. You see that Mr. Beast's gang, and it definitely carries the fact that he has friends. That shit definitely carries. They make mistakes. You have to connect to YouTubers if you want to be a YouTuber. You have to connect with gamers if you want to be a successful gamer, technically. So connectivity, you need it to improve your skills, by all means. But I would still not advise people to become professional gamers. Whenever there's real good money involved, you can pursue that thing. Because everyone needs to survive. No one wants to be a slave, so that's the main focus at all times. Yeah, you should chase title at all times. There's a way to make education entertaining at the same time, and I did it. I did it. What, does Minecraft educate people properly about something? Tell me. The only thing Minecraft does very well is show that having an interactive world is way more interesting than just following a storyline, going straight in one direction. And open world is always going to be cool, but even beyond that, Minecraft made an open world that's the entirety of it is interactive. The entirety of it is something you can manipulate. No? Something you can connect to and express yourself by building different things and trying to survive. All these different things and activities you can do. That's what makes Minecraft so fascinating, but it doesn't go anywhere beyond that. It's very basic. Once you understand how it works, you will get bored afterwards very quickly. But it takes quite a bit of time to outgrow Minecraft, not gonna lie. But the moment you start doing speedruns or becoming a pro gamer, you're reaching your limits, basically. Potentially, that is a good reason to have cancers. Like, what am I gonna do when I master Minecraft? I have to die as quickly as possible. Maybe that's something that Technoblade actually thought about, and that's why he got consumed by cancer. Maybe deep down he just wanted to die because he didn't know where to go from here from playing Minecraft all the time. It's a pretty difficult thing to do, I'm not gonna lie. And at the same time, every single gamer is stuck in their fantasy world. But do they manipulate, is the question. Well, you get manipulated with all the games that would take your time, to just take your time and not really give you anything in return. Everyone is dreaming about pay-to-win games, or I mean, not play to get paid. How are they called? How are they called? I've already forgot. Basically, you get paid for playing the game, and everyone's excited about that. But it's impossible, because games are useless, just as useless as cryptocurrency and NFTs. It's the same nonsense. where it looks entertaining and you can do a lot of things, but has no real life applications whatsoever. I still use cash. Cash all the way, alright? Cryptocurrency, not very useful, unless it turns into something physical. That's the whole fucking point that crypto cannot do. If it turns into a physical copy of something, then all of a sudden it is valuable and it is an NFT. NFTs are everywhere. Everything you have that is physical is an NFT. Even things you post on Instagram technically are NFTs because you have very limited capacity for Instagram. The more things you put into Instagram, a person has to scroll down to find those things. If you have like 2,000 items on Instagram, this is the most educational thing I would ever say if you use Instagram, is to make sure that the things you put on Instagram are ridiculously valuable to you, and that is what NFT is all about, alright? It's a fun concept to play around with. It's completely useless at the way it works at the moment, but it gives us a perspective that a lot more things are NFTs than we thought, and obviously everything the physical that is valuable to you is also an NFT. Especially if I just blew up, right? And if I have a monitor that I don't use, I just sign the monitor, and people get to, appreciate an item. But I don't understand celebrities signing things. It still could be very useless because that monitor stopped working. That's the reason why I don't use it. Not because I made an upgrade or something. It's literally useless now. It's true that on YouTube, not just there's plenty of failures. I'm not exactly sure what I was trying to convey here, so I'm just gonna move on. I mean, the failures I'm referring to YouTubers themselves, and failed channels, things that rose and declined. You should be able to maintain your presence on YouTube. Obviously, the ups and downs in viewership is inevitable, but you should be able to survive and use YouTube. Once you learn how to use YouTube, you should just continue for the rest of your life. It's a pretty good platform for that matter. Everything is a good platform. Everything can be used forever, technically, but you have to find a personal use and not just try to get as many views and subscribers as possible. That is also going to be a distraction and will turn you into a failure eventually. So that's cool. We're already at hour number 1. I have our number 2 activated, and I still haven't really plowed through the points. So let's speed up the process. I would like to use chapters to give the most important points. So can we find the most important point? I'll just copy and paste this thing. I don't care. Actually, I know how to call this chapter. Once you have connection, you don't need manipulation. Or in other words, to shorten, destroys. Here we go. So where do we go from here? Well, we still haven't finished this shit. So, we allow this, $0.99. It's a manipulation to make you buy things, make you think that they're cheaper. Obviously not everyone falls for it, but it's just ugly. It's ugly and stupid. We're not supposed to allow this stuff happening. Alright? We're supposed to protest. Probably the best way to do it is to start putting stickers everywhere. It's kind of illegal, but if all of us do it, just small little stickers, maybe heart pieces or something. On these 99s, it's like, well, but we love heart 99 so much, we're gonna put a heart on it. to scare the shit out of the business. It's like, well, you attracted a lot of crap because you had bullshit running all over the place. And there's other manipulation things that they do to try and maximize their profits. But as long as we still have to break down, is it good or not? This one is obviously disgusting, alright, and disturbing. Oh, we always have to have cents in our wallets or something? A lot of people probably can flex how many jars of pennies they have. I don't know, bro. I've seen those things, it's scary, right? I pick up a handful of coins and it takes me 3 months maybe to get rid of all of them. Because I, again, do use cash, but I try to give exact change. So it took me a long time. I had a few jars of pennies, but very tiny jars. Less than a cup. Maybe a cup of pennies, let's put it that way. Took me a long time to get rid of, maybe even a year to get rid of all the pennies. A cup of pennies. But yeah, use cash. Maybe if you're very comfortable, you can use credit cards. But as long as you have a jar of pennies, maybe get rid of that thing slowly as well. And just use cash just for the sake of how cool it is to give cash. I'm not gonna lie. If people can improve that, I'm all ears. You know, not every single stupid person is a bad person. Yes, stupidity is a bad quality that you're not supposed to have. You're supposed to be useful to society. So it's a 50-50. There's a 50% chance that a stupid person is also a bad person. But we're not supposed to allow stupid people to get wasted. You know, we need to clean shit up if it rules society, because we could fall for the same tricks too. Even I fell for the trick. I went to the shop. I was buying discounted foods, I thought, and it wasn't discounted. In fact, it had 5 more days when it was, you know, going to expire. So and it was in the discount section, because it probably didn't have anywhere else to go. Which is still manipulation. Like, you have a special section for discounts, and this was not discounted. What are you talking about? I got scammed at like €6, and probably even more because I probably bought more of the same thing, not knowing what it was all about. There's little manipulation things going on all the time. People are trying to get away with this shit. We gotta do the anti-manipulation police. I have no idea why iDubbbz, instead of being the content cop that he was supposed to do, instead he just degraded into, oh, content creators beating each other up. You know, I mean, that's cool. Content cop was way cooler. Alright. Also, I will not watch boxing matches between creators because boxing is bullshit and boring. I don't even know why people watch sports and watch boxing or anything familiar to that. I still don't understand that part, alright? It's so crazy that there's such a huge community that I do not understand. I've literally put them beyond my radar. I don't have sports in my, or football or any sport category, including boxing. I don't have it in the list here. Even though that's what men's supposed to do. Maybe I'm just not attracted to men. Maybe I don't understand. But it's not women that watch football or women that watch boxing too. So it's very, very confusing to me. What the fuck is all about? Why is football so fucking relevant? Where, you know, footballers are actually top stars on Instagram. You know, most followed on Instagram. What is happening, bro? What is the appeal? Someone kicking a ball is appealing to people? Then I would say, yeah, guys, do some gaming instead of that, because that would definitely be an upgrade. Yeah, can you imagine we can downgrade gaming into something else entirely, which is called sports? Back in the day, you know, I was enticed myself to, like, oh, go outside with a ball, throw the ball around. It's not that big of a deal. When I was stuck in a hospital, playing with the ball was quite an exciting thing to do. But, I would... Yeah, it was very exciting, actually. It was the most social time we had with each other. Play with the ball. That was... But we were playing the ball. We weren't just watching how people were doing it. Well, technically, because there's like 10 of us, only 10% of the time you're handling the ball. But because you are actively participating and you have to wait for your turn, things matter so much more. You're not gonna start learning how to do football just by watching people do football. You're only gonna learn by participating. So it's such a detached thing. It's such a downgrade from gaming. I don't even know how it still exists as popular as it is right now. Like, what? I have to put it down because this is a phenomenon, dude. Phenomenon. I will never understand, bro. The sports community. Can someone break this down for me? I beg you guys. Destroy the system, anarchies. We talked about that. If someone asks for something, then you can start establishing a connection with them, and it will not be considered manipulation. They asked for it. You have proof, potentially, or you can just say they asked for it. It's good enough reason to do something like that. Maybe it is a weird thing because like nobody's asking for a conversation out there, so I have to force it basically and try and have it. But it's all working out now that my channel has grown again. I had 3 conversations with people on my channel. That means I attracted people that are willing to do that. So I have to force myself to keep working, and hopefully I get more of these people. And maybe at some point they will even smash into each other. And I won't even have to say anything. They're just gonna create a conversation for me. I will definitely participate though. And it's still very difficult to handle the pressure of even talking to one person is pretty difficult. They could introduce you to a lot of new content and things on the internet that they have liked. It's quite overwhelming. Nothing is black and white. Someone living in their mom's basement isn't a fool. I have to take care of my mom, and I'm the most free I have ever been. Alright, so it's also a combination of me being in the basement and receiving government money. It's all these combinations of things that allows me to do these YouTube videos. Otherwise, I would be stuck, probably just dead. Just dead because I don't want to do nothing, bro. Hard work is for losers. Money's not a good reward for hard work, especially when most of it goes to rent and food, and all you're doing is just surviving, and that's disturbing to me. We can do better, but we're not doing it because we love being ignorant fools. That is the fool. A fool is a person who got successfully enslaved. A person who's living in mom's basement, no longer a fool, unfortunately. Because it used to be we had no internet back then, but now we do. Now we can just do so many things in one single room. As long as you have a good computer, that's it. You can have infinite amount of experiences delivered to you. All you have to do is learn how to play with your genitals, apparently. Just in case. Alright? Just in case. Yeah, there's no way to actually make relationships, which is the case for me. Maybe it's the case in America too in some ways, but I don't know, bro. Losing feels so bad that you have to stab first to have a chance. You know. It's a sarcastic thing. I'll probably have to flip upside down. Oh, fuck my life. Fuck my life, bro. I hate how Discord cannot handle emojis that come from, you know, this. This is so much more convenient, by the way. So I don't know what are they thinking? The categories are like here, and the first thing you see, well, technically frequently used. So this is cool. Just the categories are weird. This should be probably below everything, because this is the least relevant stuff. I don't know. It's very, very similar. Nothing to be angry about. So maybe I'll just not do that. It just feels so clean with this setup for some reason. So much more clean. I don't know why. Any bullshit can be resolved if you're being reasonable and ask for reasons. Also, I didn't really broke down the idea of stabbing first. People are so in such panic attack that they want to stab first, they want to do the first move, they have to type in the first comment. They're so desperate with the manipulation. And sometimes they manipulate themselves because they want things that are completely irrelevant to their lives. And you can catch those as well. There's all sorts of things going on. Self-manipulation is quite interesting too. I don't know if it has a different word for it. And I can't really even describe it. It's more against self-deception. But I don't know. Any bullshit can be resolved. So yeah, if you're reasonable, sometimes all you need to do is ask a few questions and just ask what is a woman? A woman is a woman. It's like, that's not how definitions work. And you just move on, technically. When you realize no one can actually define what a woman is anymore, no one cares. Everyone, you know, you should be able, the biggest questions to ask anyone is allow them to define things. It's the most fun thing to do, to be honest. Because if you have better definitions, you win. You know, you could create a matchup of let's define 3 things and who can define those 3 things better. This could be a fucking awesome game, to be honest. I love this idea. And ideas are hearted. Yeah, basically whoever defines 3 things best. Also, I like about competitions, if we realize they're on the same level, we could extend the competition and maybe it's gonna be a match. Who knows, right? It's so cool. It's so cool. That's a great idea, man. I'm filled with generating ideas left and right that nobody cares about, but I'm okay with that, because my life only gets better. I can implement my own ideas. I'm not just sitting here and farting all the time. Because most of the time, bullshit doesn't have enough reasons to exist. Yes, you ask for why you're doing a certain thing that you're doing, and it's like popping a bubble at this point. They will realize, oh, there's no good reason for me to do this. But what do I do then? You have to be able to provide a substitution, because usually the reason why we do bullshit things is we're bored. Alright, we had just too much time on our hands. So we have to be equipped with, you know, replacement for their misery. Because people dive into bullshit when they have miserable lives. They become nasty, bullies on the internet, all these just negative things. I'm sorry for Nigahiga, he stopped uploading, and the answer is because of COVID. And that was what COVID was intended to do, is to kill leaders. Alright, people who are connected with others. So Nigahiga had a huge team of friends that would all work together, and it fell apart because COVID. Somehow they were living in the same house and they couldn't make content. It was kind of awkward. How COVID just split them apart all of a sudden. It's kind of weird. The third apocalypse will be helping each other. So I was triggered that I can't really understand apocalypses so well. But I'm hoping that again the third one is gonna be a positive, like sugar-coated apocalypse, where I get to eat the sugar, eat the Trojan, use the Trojan horse, but whatever is inside it, we have to discard it. So, back in, maybe back in a day where we had COVID, the purpose of COVID, the good side of COVID, was in the core where, like, above all these lockdowns and all the bad things that are happening, it actually pushes you towards using internet more seriously, and could have actually inspired more people than it destroyed the amount of leaders it destroyed. So it is quite a big question. It also exposed a lot of ideas, because every time you manipulate society a little bit, it will have a new shape where new ideas are more powerful. So it could change people's minds. So that's what I'm expecting the third apocalypse to go down. The second apocalypse is inflation and wars, basically, and just unrest in general. Not everything, or impending doom, basically. It's kind of crazy, and everyone is in a panic mode, just trying to survive. And inflation is definitely crippling a lot of people's lives, and is probably doing even more damage than COVID could ever do, despite destroying a lot of businesses that way too. It just now destroys a lot of people's wallets, and it continued destroying businesses, continued destroying leaderships. We're going to the second level of destruction. Something we can't even describe and talk about. All we can do is take a picture of, we had a $2 potato chips and now we have $4 potato chips. And that's crazy, right? What is also crazy, I found when I was shopping in a different shop, because my the local one was crowded with people. When I was dealing with the big shop, I noticed there's honey, and honey is cheap and affordable. And it's like, what? Honey's basically the price of bread? I can buy honey? There's a specific price range that I can go up from. So 6 euros for a kilogram of food is something I cannot go up. But honey was able to be below 6 euros. Like, how do you manufacture honey quickly or is nobody buying it so it's cheap because of that? Technically, yeah, honey never really rots or goes bad, so honey can actually be cheap. There's no need to discard it, If it can go bad, potentially that is what makes honey so cheap. And now all we have to do is learn how to eat honey, because honey technically is not a food. It just sweetens your tea or whatever. But now I guess I have to put some honey into my chocolate thing that I drink every day. Chocolate mix. I love it, man. There's so many things we can learn about food in general. Also, government needs to get punished for not doing its job. I don't want governments. The only job of a government is to elect people who's gonna do nothing, basically. I want government to actually clean shit up, remove lotteries, and remove the 99-cent thing. We don't need it. We have establishments, and the reason why it's so powerful to regulate this stuff. It's not regulation we need. We need to clean established monopolies. And then other monopolies will be scared as well, and they might clean themselves up before getting cleaned. But we take monopoly one by one, and we just clean all the nonsense. Like something like an Apple, the corporation Apple. They gotta clean their shit up really badly. And why is the government not interfering? It's your only fucking job that actually makes sense to clean the shit up of all the injustice and unfair practices of monopolies. Oh, they pay you money maybe? Is that what you wanted, Mr. Government? We're not supposed to have a big government where every single government employee is hungry for more money. Alright, we have to have satisfied people who just want to help society and potentially get rewarded for it, but not with more money. Alright, they have to have enough money to not focus on that part whatsoever. Alright. You work for the government, you get enough money to survive and thrive a little bit, but then you focus on solving problems exclusively and not getting any cash from anywhere else. Alright? You're not supposed to be distracted. So, government doesn't even work properly, I don't think. Not only they're not using their powers correctly, but we don't even understand how government gets to decide what is the criteria for a person working for government. It's like, I just lay down exactly how it's supposed to work. And I'm pretty sure it's not how it is. And we shouldn't, make a presidential election as the greatest thing of all time when we don't really have many choices to begin with. It's just a bunch of old people, If we create representatives, if we actually, then we can actually participate in voting. We actually elect our own representative. What is your representative? Do you have one? Or do you want to be your own representative, but then you have to go to this event where we elect the best representative of the entire, town, because you have to do it locally, and that's as far as it really should go. But oh no, presidential election, the president of the entire world. I'm sure that's not very difficult to organize that, and it's not going to turn into another manipulation nonsense. So potentially, I will talk about elections being bullshit soon enough, Not everything that happens is manipulation. Sometimes you're too strong for that. Some people can attempt manipulation, but they will not actually manipulate you whatsoever. I cannot be moved an inch. I cannot be manipulated whatsoever. I am so immune to this thing, you have no fucking idea. Alright? And even if, I can fall for things, but then I will swing back immediately and use it against them. Because I can detect manipulation easier than anyone else. So I sit here comfortably and I know you can't pull me into the matrix and suck me off my resources. I will defend myself accordingly. And it's quite fascinating that people are surviving to begin with. I mean, that's a pretty hard thing to do. So I'm sure people are kind of immune to manipulation, but sometimes, and in this case again, with the class meltdown where they just left me hanging without any opportunities, I'm just like, wow. That's a pretty nice try of manipulation. We just dump, you ignore, you reject. It's so annoying. So that was the experience with my shop. I lost 6 euros because what I thought was discounted was not discounted. It was in just a mixed category now, and I have to look for that special label every single time. It's so fucking frustrating. It should be a special category, the whole thing, 50% off. There shouldn't be a need to label things anymore whatsoever. But every single package has to be labeled, and it's some extra work that is completely unnecessary. It's like, well, it's discounted, right? That's the whole point. There's no special labels when there's a discount that is not 50%, alright? that the product is not going bad and it's not going to be usable after 2 days. You only have 2 days to consume this product. I am very desperate to sell it, you know. I understand 50% off, but they label, and if it's not labeled, then it's not 50% off. But why is it in that category then? Because there is no category. It's so fucking stupid, bro. So I got duped. I got fooled. You shouldn't point out someone's mistakes back to them when you don't like them. Let them keep making mistakes. I mean, if you cannot fix them, being aware and letting them know that you're aware of their mistakes is it's very discouraging for them technically. Maybe there is actually a good reason to point out mistakes anyways. But you can toy with them now. Now you can toy with them. Now you can observe what's gonna happen next. You know, if you see them making mistakes, it's like, well, now you get to observe if they're gonna fall apart because of those mistakes, and then you're gonna say, I told you so, bro. I told you, and I still don't like you. After all those bad things happen to you, because you still have to, you know, respect me for the I told you so part. So there's some interesting dynamic going on here. How is it relating to manipulation? I don't remember. Nobody wants to buy my knowledge, and so most opportunities just slip away. If you don't have knowledge, you will not know what opportunities you have in life whatsoever. The greatest opportunities is where you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to go outside of your fucking room. This is where the greatest opportunities lie, within yourself and your environment that you control. Greatest opportunities. But you also have to have an open mind, an open door for anyone else outside to be able to knock on your door and interact with you. They came all the way. I came all the way to my stupid classmate union thing they try to organize. I came all the way. It was very difficult for me to start talking. But when I started talking, they just left. And it's like, oh wow. It's all for nothing. I came all the way to knock on the door, and they open the door and there's nothing there, basically. Well, it was quite a trippy trip, and it's coming to a close, by the way. Someone is gonna get married. There's 2 people left, and they're getting married. You can't see it, but that's the way I would describe it. I could click on their profiles, though. This girl is left and this guy is left. This guy, I know him as gay, and this is a goth girl. So, perfect couple. They're gonna get married, guys. They kept clicking on their notifications to see what I wrote, and everyone else fell off. There was at least 30 people, I would imagine. And everyone, they completed the ultimate Mr. Beast challenge. Survive for long enough to get married. Well, I cannot tell you guys, I cannot predict because I cannot predict the outcome, I cannot predict the reward either, but the reward was getting married, apparently. I could have never guessed. Alright. It's so funny sometimes. It was the most fun experience, I would imagine, but not an experience that I expected or wanted to begin with. Is, well, another reason to not try to get things that you want. No, well, not to do what you want, because you don't know what's gonna happen. You just simply don't know what's gonna happen. After you do what you want, it could just fall apart very quickly. You gotta use opportunities instead of doing what you want. That's the way to break this down. And again, there's a lot of bullshit I could refer to right now. I referred to crypto already. And let's go deeper. If you have bullshit principles, you will allow manipulation. Alright? Because people can sense fear, people can sense instability if they can actually poke holes inside of you. And take away free things from you. Everyone is thinking of how to scam, how to do things faster. for profit is everyone's doing that shit, bro. Businesses so they will look for bullshit principles that you have that they can exploit. It's just that simple. This is why it's so important to have principles to begin with. Most of them are not bullshit, but people don't have principles, so they create a quick one that doesn't really work very well. The moment you establish a pattern in your life, it can be very destructive. Even just going to school every day was a pretty terrifying thing that still haunts my dreams. And yes, it haunted the dream that I slept for 10 hours. I still met a lot of classmates, basically, which is so annoying, but I understand. They're the people that connected to me very deeply, and school has connected to me. But we have to burn it down somehow, and even after making the video that 25% of my dreams are about school, I still haven't detached a single inch from that estimation. Businesses that establish successfully have to go public with their data. So not only businesses have to stop being shady and clean themselves up from manipulation, they also have to provide data of what works, what doesn't work, all this stuff, all this information we need to know, you know? One of the most intriguing pieces of information is why are certain things priced the way that they are, you know? Once we break down the prices, what is the cheapest thing? You know, maybe you add some additives, maybe you add too much water into something. Something like ketchup actually has more water than tomatoes, so it's cheap because of that. I looked into ketchup and it's like, wait, it's cheaper than tomatoes? What? Ketchup is cheaper than tomatoes, guys. Like, straightforward. And it is kind of mind-blowing, but it kind of makes sense when it's mostly water. But it doesn't look like it's mostly water, so that's the weird part. Government doesn't interfere with your life. You don't need to attack the government. As an anarchist, you should be upset about capitalism more than governism. Yes, government wants your taxes, but I think you can deal with that, right? I think you can deal with that. The problem with taxes is the government is taxing everyone. And sometimes businesses can actually go through loopholes and get away from that shit. So that makes no sense. Like, rich people supposed to be taxed because they have money, and poor people need money. Why are you taxing money and then giving welfare back? Like, what is going on, bro? None of this makes sense. Just don't take money. That's the greatest welfare ever, bro. So, they don't tell you what to do. Government is not interfering with your life. It's just, you get full freedom, and everyone is like on the right. It's like every anarchist would say, we want freedom. What the fuck? But the government is not your enemy when it comes to freedom. Government really just gives what people wanted this whole time. If freedom is what they want, they got it. It's just that simple. Whatever people want. That's how psychopaths kind of work. They give what people want, but they usually tend to give the bad things to them, not the good things. So freedom is actually a bad thing to have. I'm not gonna lie, it's a bad thing to have. But we want it so badly for schools to exist, because we still allow that to exist. We don't really have a replacement for schools. So this is a very interesting insight, I would say. So yeah, authorities like government and psychopaths tend to give you what you want, but the bad stuff that you want first. You know, they prioritize specifically. You gotta get the bad stuff. Something called freedom. Freedom is a pretty bad thing to have, unfortunately. You want something in between where you are committed to something, but you're also free to do it your way. Alright? Free to, well, express your superpowers or abilities or learn things, but if you're just fully free, you're just gonna bounce around in your room bored all the time. That's what authorities give you. Full freedom. Oh, isn't that fucking hilarious? And we want it so badly. They will get... Because they don't have to work anymore. If they give us freedom, they don't have to fucking work. That's the whole point for authorities. You know? Oh, you wanted freedom so badly, but I'm the authority, so I'm gonna give freedom to you because it's the easiest thing to give. Freedom is very easy to give, and now government doesn't have to work so hard anymore. Isn't that cool? So we just let the government run loose, despite, you know, but I want more freedom. I want guns and abortions and all these things. And it's like, wow, we're gonna get some terrible, terrible things if you want even more freedom. I'm sorry, bro. We're gonna get a lot of, a lot of nonsense is gonna happen because of that. I want freedom from pandemics and government interfering with my life when pandemic hits. Yeah, the only thing that government said is just, wear a mask so you are a masked person. No one can recognize you, whether you're a zombie or not. Whether you're a monster. It's a cool way to mask yourself. No one knows your identity when you do stupid things when pandemic happens. It's not about pandemic. It's not about those invisible forces. How about fear and being a degenerate? You might not want to show your face when you're being a degenerate, okay? Just think about it for a second. Masks have a completely different purposes. And vaccines are... I cannot defend vaccines, unfortunately, because again, they could be anything, whenever. Anyone can inject you with whatever, whenever. Alright? Would you give that freedom for people to do? You know? And that's another reason to wear a mask, so people don't recognize you when they inject you with something, whether you're good or bad. They just like, they have a bunch of vaccines. Here's vaccines for good people, and here's vaccines for bad people. Oh, you look like a bad person. Oh, you got the bad one. You know, so, I wouldn't want to give people that power at the moment. That's a little bit weird. I went to shop and picked up so we did that. Government gives too much freedom, and when you cross the line, they take most of it. You know, when you cross the line, government is constantly watching. Not only they wanted to give you freedom this whole time, but there's another reason why they want to give you freedom. Freedom is given so once people leave society, they are exploited. Oh, you look a little bit different. Let me just disappear you and put you in my little prison thing because you did that and that. That's for those. You're a little bit of a groomer right now, and that's a lot of violence. So we have to lock you up really fast. But the people have to not be influencers for that to happen, alright? They have to be disappeared for minor things. I'm probably exaggerating because I don't have examples of this happening. But, yeah, the idea is a predator move. If you step a little bit outside of society, then there's enough reason to just make you completely disappear. And get completely exploited. But, yeah, I feel like I'm exaggerating this one. We're almost reaching 2 hours. I guess all I want to do is just finish this. New tools are not cool, but cool and tool is like the same root word. It's kind of cute. All they do is distract you. So is AI gonna solve our problems? Internet kind of didn't do much, to be honest. Didn't create connections. People actually are more mentally ill because of the internet. They can express ideas, all sorts of ideas, but None of them necessarily work. They can define themselves as a new kind of person based on their sexuality. I don't get it, bro. They can do gaming and go into different dimensions and then get attached to those dimensions and they want to live there in that dimension. But please, touch grass first, because you have to live here. You know, there's so many things that could distract you if you're not using the tool correctly, right? We have to grow up and realize that YouTube has to be only for professional people like myself and other YouTubers. Otherwise, again, we're just being distracted and we're misusing the tool entirely. YouTube is for educational purposes only. Everyone else can leave now. Go to TikTok, all right? That's a new little thing. But we have to actually talk to each other and establish great connections. YouTube community, you know, whoever actually cares. So we have to, you know, recognize that. And as a YouTube CEO, I will enforce that to happen. It's not that difficult. Once people recognize that I even exist in a proper form. But I need to train myself really hard and make all these points. And then we're gonna rule over YouTube, guys. Then we're gonna rule. Let's go with this one, because it's the ending anyways. Let's make sure we use all of this stuff. Basically, I can call it a trash manipulation. Also, I talked about Christianity and I talked about dark matter and how he was manipulated because he went to Twitter instead of YouTube, where he belongs. He's making YouTube videos, not Twitter content. I don't even know if he exists on Twitter properly. I looked into Twitter. It's a shithole. I don't know how to use it. I don't know what value it provides to society. It's just some American garbage where people vomit at each other. And hopefully it triggers someone somewhere to go viral because of a few lines that they have wrote in a specific way or attached a picture to it and manipulated successfully. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna bitch about that for an hour. But never really said anything bad about Twitter. It's just like, oh, this is how propaganda looks like. So, yeah, it's the dude that was attacking Christianity. I know Christianity is bullshit, but God is not bullshit. It's just Jesus is bullshit. So the entire platform of the core idea of Christianity, where everyone just worships Jesus, is like, I don't know, bro. You're worshiping a dead guy who cannot even talk for himself right now and defend himself in case someone doesn't like him. It's like, what is going on, bro? So let's move on. Again, then AI is gonna show up, and AI is not gonna solve the core problems that we have, which is still gonna continue struggling. And again, we have to clean up YouTube of all this nonsense that we're dealing with. So big YouTubers can interact with each other and generate better ideas. We should be able to at least turn off the lights for a moment and see who is the big guy in the room, all right? Who are the big guys? So that's a very, very good idea. Something I have to keep in mind. All right, Spark. Let's do it a different way. YouTube, well, no, not really. Heart needs a light switch where you get to see who are the big guys, you know, who have actually had proper amount of YouTube experience in comparison to everyone else. The amount of content I have been uploading is probably I have uploaded the most content, or top 100 on the entirety of YouTube. That is actually like real content, not AI generated nonsense. Not repetitive either. Alright, you could upload a lot of content of just you gaming, one game or a couple of games, or just gaming in general. I transcended that further. So I'm probably top 100. I'm pretty fucking big, basically. And I would want to see how big I am and compare myself to other people. Entertaining education, alright? That's what we want. We don't want just dry entertainment. That's bullshit. You know, it has to go somewhere. I've been dealing with this idea for a long time, where is, okay, I'm doing a job. I want the job to be interesting, and I want entertainment to be useful. I want these two things. Opportunity should start on the internet. Make sure people learn how to use internet. Ignorance is not really manipulation. It's people who can't figure out what to do, but sometimes they know exactly what to do, but they're ignoring on purpose. Purposeful ignorance is manipulation. So often enough, I assume that not everyone is purposefully ignoring me. Maybe they're really scared, but like, come on, bro. Come on. But now you showed fear, now I have to deal with it again, because now I have to manipulate them. Ignorance is either purposeful and it's manipulation, or it invites manipulation if it's not purposeful. You know, either way it's bad. There's no platform that would encourage conversations. Discord is too complicated, so a normal person who doesn't know how internet works would struggle using Discord. We need a tutorial for that shit. So there should be 2 years of school just learning how internet works, because it's the most important thing where everything happens, basically. So at least for 2 years, children should learn how to use the internet. Or there should be just a school where people go in and learn how to use the internet, period. Unlimited amount of education, how much they need. If they feel like they need to learn something, they go to school for that. An open school for all the people who want to use internet, also a very good idea. 24/7 open school for people who are trying to learn how to use internet. That's also a great idea. How much time we have? 9 minutes. Let's speed this up, bro. Opportunity should start on the internet. Alright. There's no platform that encourages conversation, so again, Discord is very complicated. But it's, you know, the final boss. I don't see anything better that I could use right now. This is so epic, dude. Teachers should be personalized somehow. Teaching. So, but yeah, I just gave you guys an example. Whenever you feel like you need something, you will personally gonna be taught how to do that one thing, because everyone has personal issues and personal levels of development. So that's how it should work. That's how school's supposed to work. Not just grab a bunch of children and it's like, well, you're not gonna be bored for like for half of your day that we're gonna suck up. If schools have served a purpose, but they have to go now. Get the fuck out of it, because there's too many things to do now. There's too many things to do. So people should do whatever they want, technically. Everyone should be homeschooled and turn into Billie Eilish and then burnt in hell. Biggest manipulation is called monopoly, where competition is instantly eliminated. So it's not only monopolies are intimidating, but they have enough power to destroy and lobby against competition, basically. So it's very frustrating to try and fight monopolies. Monopolies should be discouraged, and we should. But yeah, like, what do we do? Because if there's enough competition, then we also beat inflation that way. Simply because a lower price always wins, or a more attractive price, let's put it that way. Because it doesn't have to be lower, but it could represent a better quality product, all sorts of stuff like that. We just need more competition, and a lot of problems would be solved. But monopolies are right now going rampant and destroying all the competition that they can find, to be honest. And even just by existing alone, they should allow competition, not even just by creating another shop, But within the shop itself, there should be competition as well. But I still don't know how to break this down. Manipulation is another reason for sanity content. By the way, I could do the fuss for this episode, where I look into what other people say, because people talk about manipulation for sure. It's like how to not get manipulated is quite a topic I believe I could find on YouTube. Let's take a look, you know. Become impossible to manipulate. You know, I could look into this stuff. Psych 2. How to stop manipulating people. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of resources to look into, so potentially when we go to level 2, I will look more into that, but right now it's a dry episode because there's so much to talk about. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable, dude. Reading books is bullshit. Now people who read books are manipulating you for some reason. I don't know, dude. Or writing books to begin with. It's also manipulation. Just doing bullshit things, and you want people to relate to that somehow. It's nonsense, dude. It's another reason for sanity content, for self-reflection and honesty. I mean, have I said people put ads in the middle of the videos, and it's like, don't just make sure it's in one video. If you want to support me video or something, that you can keep re-uploading that video every single week. Support me video. That would be the best way to clean up your content, because you don't want to have ads in the middle of the content. It just destroys your free-flowing content, and people detach from it, and people just feel manipulated in the end. And manipulation is bad. You want to avoid manipulating others and getting manipulated. You just want to avoid this bullshit that we have figured out. You can do anything on YouTube, but once you're cancelled, you have to be sane. Alright? So once you start breaking the rules of society, and society is like, well, you can't do that one. Then, as you get cancelled, you have to start apologizing. You have to put sanity of some kind. You can't just keep moving as if nothing really happened and keep uploading videos. Now you have to actually be concerned. Alright. How to detect sanity, I'm not exactly gonna describe that. We just have to move on. It's okay to manipulate someone to teach them a lesson. Again, bullshit against bullshit. That's the entire idea. If you manipulate a manipulator, scam a scammer, that's
I'm scamming.
A reference to that. You can scam a scammer if you feel like they're pieces of shit. You can't be manipulated if you have clear goals, objectives. I think I explained that. Alright, you can't just do what you want. You have to have an objective. You will get what you want as a reward, but you will never be doing what you want. Whatever you want is a waste of time and resources most of the time. And you don't really get any results whatsoever. You have to have goals in life. It's really gonna fix your life perspective. And you will start appreciating things that you didn't want it to do, but you did it anyways. And it will give you so many qualities in life. Because right now there's plenty of people who don't want to use internet properly. They don't even want to learn or try things. It is so bizarre to me, but it is what it is, man. I understand that, in real life there's cool things, but at least in winter season, I should get respect and praise. Why is it not happening? Or is my channel gonna collapse during summer? Let's see what happens. So far I've been just consistently climbing, regardless summer or winter. It just happens to be winter right now, or I get the most views. But we'll see, bro. We'll see. On YouTube, you should be able to buy attention. Technically, you can buy it through ads, but it's like we have an algorithm that should promote certain people, or just a special category of people who have submitted like $1 and they have appeared on this special special category. You just have to pay to enter that category. Pay $1 and your video is gonna be clickable on that place. You know. So that would solve a lot of problems, by the way. Honestly, I'll just reiterate the idea. Actually, because we're talking about YouTube here, I have an entire mining thing going on. So, 54 special category for paid videos. People who paid $1 for self-promotion. $1 can be any amount of dollars. It's just an example of how it would normally cost. But then, you know, you realize, okay, you have to link your YouTube with your bank account and stuff like that. But everyone needs to do that anyway, so it's fine. Traveling is absolute nonsense. Conversation instead. And I think this is where we left off. I need to double check. I cannot do it quickly enough. So let's just talk about it real quick. Traveling is absolute nonsense. Like, you can just sit in your room and have conversations. You don't even have to go anywhere whatsoever. But it would be nice if you can just go out with people. I would be able to even just travel in my local area. And there's a lot of places I've never really been to. So it's fine. Like, just find more local people that would want to hang around with you, and you're gonna go places. And you just have to appreciate small things instead of like, oh, I'm gonna go to fucking Rome, Italy, Eiffel Tower, place, England is my city, place. For fuck's sake, bro. Chill. You have too much money, clearly. Because I would be struggling to fucking survive. And a lot of people are struggling, and it's like, flexing is so stupid as well. The biggest problem is when you sit there silently and bad things happen to you, but then you allow just people to flex whenever good things happen to them. It's like, well, on one hand, all the things that you think are good, they're gonna be stolen from you, and on the other side, you're being abused and you're being silent about it. The abuse will amplify over time. So none of these things are good. But they're happening because that's what people want to do, apparently. And YouTube poop belongs on TikTok. I think we're done. Should not be a slave. Go chase a title that gets paid. Alright, gaming is not gonna pay you. So do something that will pay you. Alright? Educate yourself until you get paid. You should get paid for just being smart. Alright? And being able to answer questions. Oh, I guess AI is gonna do it for you? I don't know, bro. We'll see. And then after this point, because like, people go look for jobs out there. You know, if you're smart, you're gonna have opportunities where people can get paid for doing a hard type of work. It's a very confusing thing. But again, you shouldn't be focusing on titles that don't pay you anything. As being the best gamer ever. Is being a cute girl, very beautiful girl. Maybe you're gonna be a cool wife to someone, but I don't know. It's a confusing thing, so the video is falling apart anyways. Do I have a conclusion? Right? First of all, the first conclusion is I don't know how to do chapters. That's my first conclusion. What the fuck do I do with chapters? I don't know how to do chapters. So that's pretty sad. Especially with oh fuck my life. Okay, you don't get that. You get this. It's very confusing. But yeah, no one can destroy me with manipulation. Because it's bullshit. I can see through bullshit, and everyone is gonna get angry. It's like, oh, my manipulation didn't work. I usually get this response, and it's like, what? Yeah, it's now just people stabbing each other. On the internet too, they just learn how to stab each other, how to throw bricks and all that crap. How to be monsters. Can you be normal? Is my superpower, is asking people, but can you be normal? Forget all your manipulation things, which is the only thing I really get on the internet. I don't get conversations, which is a normal thing to do. I get everything else, which is absolutely useless crap. And this is what obsesses me the most. And that's the end of the video. See you guys next time.